A few years ago, about 20 years ago, I had a problem. My coaching calendar was full. I was charging $100 a session, and my past clients kept asking for more support, but they couldn't afford to keep working with me one-on-one at $100 a pop. So I tried something simple. I sent one email to 196 past clients, people who already knew me, liked me, trusted me, and had worked with me, and I offered a group coaching membership with 2 virtual meetings per month for a year at only $199. A super deal. 24 people accepted my offer from that one email. That's $4,776 from a single email. Now, that wasn't a cold email. That was one message to people already on my newsletter list, people I'd built trust with over time. And that's the real power of a newsletter. It builds the relationship even when you're not actively involved. So when you do send an email like that, people respond. But here's what mattered even more than the money. Instead of running dozens of individual sessions, I was able to support all of those clients in a handful of group calls. They got ongoing help, community, and accountability, and I didn't have to work more hours to give it to them. Everybody won. That's what a newsletter can do for you. Now, today, I'm going to show you how to build one that works like that, not just once, but consistently over time. Hey, Coach, I'm Ronnie Noyes, and this is Smart Ideas for New Coaches. Practical, proven strategies to help you build a coaching practice that actually works. If you're new here, subscribe so you don't miss a thing. I publish every week, and it's always worth your time. Today, we're talking about newsletters, and I know what you might be thinking. Email, isn't that old news? Shouldn't I be focused on social media and reels and algorithms? I'm going to make the case today that a newsletter is not just relevant, it may be the single most valuable marketing asset you can build as a new coach. And I'm not going to do it with statistics and marketing theory. I'm going to do it with stories, real ones, from my own 20-plus years of running a coaching and training business. Because the best way to show you what a newsletter can do is to show you what mine actually did. A fair warning, some of these stories are going to surprise you. Now, I'm not here to tell you that social media is bad. It isn't. But I want you to understand one critical difference between social media and a newsletter, because it changes everything about how you think about your marketing. On social media, you are a guest in someone else's house. The platform decides who sees your content, when they see it, and whether they see it at all, actually. And algorithms change. Platforms change. Accounts get suspended. Entire audiences can disappear overnight. But your newsletter list? That's yours. You own it. No algorithm decides whether your message reaches your subscribers. No platform can take that away from you. So when you send a newsletter, you can communicate directly, one-to-one, with people who raised their hand and said, I want to hear from you. That's a completely different relationship than a social media follower. And in the coaching business, where everything depends on trust, that difference matters enormously. Now, let me be specific about the jobs a newsletter does for you, because it does more than people realize, I think. First, it keeps you top of mind. Most people who could and will hire you aren't ready right now. That doesn't mean they won't be ready in 6 months, a year, or 3 years. Your newsletter is how you stay visible, helpfully, consistently, and without being pushy, just by showing up in their inbox month after month while they're getting ready to work with you. Second, it builds trust faster than almost any other tool. When someone reads your thinking, your ideas, your perspective month after month, they start to feel like they know you. And in coaching, that feeling is everything. Third, it creates a direct line of communication to people who want to buy from you. When you have an offer, a program, an event, a special, your newsletter list is your most responsive audience. They already know you, they already trust you, they're already warm. And fourth, and this one I think surprises a lot of people, your newsletter reaches far beyond who you think you're reaching. Now let me show you exactly what I mean. Here's a story, not about me, but about a client of mine who owned a charming little tea room. Great location, lovely menu, beautiful shop, but her sales had been sagging for months. One Thursday, she called me in a panic. She said, Now I know you're not a magician, but I am desperate. I need some sales this weekend or I'm going to have to close. So I told her to send a newsletter, a simple one, a special offer, maybe a bit of content about making the perfect cup of tea. Nothing fancy. She pulled together every email address she had and sent it on Friday. Monday morning, she called me again, crying. But this time, happy tears. She'd had a $3,200 Saturday, 10 times her best day in months. One email, one day, one decision. Now that's a fast result. But some of the most powerful newsletter stories aren't fast at all. They're a little slower, but had a really long reach. Let me tell you about something that happened early in my newsletter journey, something I never could have predicted. So, shortly after I joined a local women entrepreneurs organization, one of the members, a direct sales representative who was in serious business building mode, subscribed to my newsletter. Now, my newsletter at the time was focused on practical marketing tips for small business owners. I used to be a marketing coach. That makes sense. She started printing it out and giving copies to her downline at their meetings. She was using my newsletter as a training resource. She did this off and on for 18 years. Her business grew, her team grew, and some of her team members eventually moved on to other companies. But they kept using my newsletters to train their own teams. I never planned that. I never marketed to direct sales professional. I just kept showing up with useful content, and one person found a way to use it that I never could have imagined. And yes, that led to paid speaking engagements at regional and national conventions for several direct sales brands, all because one woman printed out my newsletter and started sharing it. Now, here's another one. A local business magazine was fairly new, kind of a startup, started reprinting articles from my newsletter without telling me. I had no idea this was happening, and frankly, I had no problem. But the way I found out was that someone called me to ask if I could fill in as a last-minute speaker for a national event happening in Portland the next day. Their speaker had canceled, and they panicked. They picked up a copy of that magazine, read my article, saw that I was local, so they invited me to speak. Now, here's what's a little weird. The topic of the article wasn't even the one they wanted. But that article led to my website. They liked what they saw, so they called me. I said, sure. I mean, why not? Now, full disclosure, I was totally surprised that they invited me and happy that they found a topic on my speaker page that worked for them. So I showed up the next morning to find an even bigger surprise. There were more than 500 people in the audience. And guess what? About a third of the audience subscribed to my newsletter that day, which led to a paid speaking engagement for a national insurance agency halfway across the country. Where I was prepared this time, I made an offer and filled a coaching group of insurance agents. Newsletter, reprinted article, but I didn't know was happening. 500 people, a filled program. None of that was in my marketing plan. All of it came from consistently publishing something worth reading, my newsletter. And then there are the not quite so dramatic stories. More than one person subscribed to my newsletter and then nothing. No replies, no purchases, no sign they were even reading except my analytics. Then, sometimes 5 years later, sometimes 6, and one time 8. Can you tell I'm actually thinking of real people right now? So they reached out and enrolled in a coaching program without a sales call, without a single conversation. They'd been reading the whole time, building trust at their own pace. And when they were ready, they already knew exactly who they wanted to work with. So 8 years is a long time to keep dropping into someone's inbox, but it's a lot easier than chasing them on social media for 8 years. And finally, one more thing I want to tell you about: returning clients. People who came back to work with me 5, 7, even 10 years after we'd last worked together. They'd finished their original coaching package or program and life had moved on. Then new challenges popped up, and they knew I was still there because they were still getting my newsletter. Another client bought my annual coaching special every single November for 12 consecutive years. It was a subscriber-only offer available only to the people on my newsletter list, but he never missed it. 12 years, because he stayed subscribed and I kept showing up. There's one more thing I want you to understand about your newsletter audience. It's not always who you think it is. Over the years, some of my most valuable newsletter subscribers were not small business owners at all. They were people who came to hear me speak or attended a training I offered or subscribed because they liked how I thought, even though they had no obvious reason to hire a marketing coach. Those readers referred their colleagues, friends, family to me. They invited me to speak at their associations, connected me with organizations I didn't even know existed. And more than a few of them ended up hiring me not as individual clients, but through their workplaces, government agencies, nonprofits, even some big international companies. I never would have predicted that. And I'm sure they never would have predicted it either. But here's the point. Your newsletter spreads your ideas and your reputation far beyond your immediate audience. You can't control where it goes, and that's actually not a risk. It gets your ideas, your take, your unique perspective out there, delivered to people who want to hear it. And that is the whole point. So, what do you actually put in a newsletter? Good question. And it's so much easier than you might think. Let me break it down for you. Your readers want three things from you: what's new, what's true, and what's next. New means your latest offers, updates, and announcements. True means your perspective, your take on something relevant to your readers, your expertise, your point of view. Next means what's coming: events, opportunities, things they should be aware of. That's it. You don't need to write an essay. You don't need to be profound every time. You need to be consistent, useful, and real. And you already have all the content you need. An insight from a recent client session, anonymized of course, is great content. A book or a tool you found valuable, again, excellent. A short tip on a topic your clients ask about all the time, 2 thumbs up. A new upcoming program, a short personal story that illustrates something you believe about coaching or growth or is related to your core messaging. You already know more than your audience does. You're not writing a textbook, you're having a conversation, you're being fascinating. Believe me, you don't need more ideas. You just need a place to share the ideas, the information, the experiences that you already have. Now, from my experience, the number one reason coaches abandon their newsletters is not lack of ideas, it's lack of a plan. So before you write a single word, I want you to make 4 quick decisions. These decisions will make every newsletter so much easier to produce, and they'll keep you publishing consistently instead of sporadically. Decision 1. Who is your newsletter for? Be specific, not people, which people. Spoiler, it's your target market, the people you serve with your coaching programs. The more specific you are, the more likely your reader will feel like you're actually speaking directly to them. Because you are. You're talking about the challenges they face, the questions they have, and the concerns that keep them up at night. Your newsletter shows them that you get it and that you can help. And don't worry about excluding any readers. I wrote for small business owners, and tons of my subscribers weren't that. But as I mentioned earlier, they still referred business to me, coaching, speaking, and training. Apparently, they liked what I had to say, found it helpful, even though they weren't technically my market. But if I'd tried to be all things to all people, my expertise would not have been obvious, and I doubt I would have gotten those referrals and gigs and all the wonderful opportunities I got. Decision 2. What will you consistently offer them? What can your readers count on getting from you every single time? Tips, insights, offers, stories, whatever it is, make it consistent so people know what they're subscribing to and why. Decision 3. How often will you send it? My strong advice for a new coach is to start with monthly. Not because weekly isn't valuable. In a perfect world, it's ideal. But because a monthly newsletter you actually send beats a weekly newsletter that you burn out on and stop sending by month 3. Believe me, been there. Consistency matters more than frequency. And decision 4, what tool will you use? The good news is that excellent free tools exist. I know because I've used a bunch of them. You don't need to spend a lot of money or any money to start a newsletter. Pick one, learn it, stick with it. The tool is not the point. The point is the connection. Now, of course, none of this matters if nobody's on your list, so let's talk for a minute about growth. I've put together a free cheat sheet with more than 25 ways to grow your newsletter subscriber list, specifically edited for coaches, and I'll tell you how to get your copy in just a moment. But let me highlight the tactics that work best for new coaches. First and foremost, give people a reason to subscribe, not just sign up for my newsletter because that's not compelling. Give them something valuable in exchange for their email address, a checklist, a guide, a short resource, something they actually want. This is called a lead magnet, and it works. Second, put your sign-up link everywhere. Your email signature, your social media bios, your link page, the end of every video you make. Make it easy to find and easy to act on. Third, mention it when you speak. Whether you're presenting at an event, guesting on a podcast, leading a workshop, or just networking, mention your newsletter and what your subscribers get, because it will sound like something valuable. And fourth, add one simple line to your emails. Was this forwarded to you? You can subscribe here. It sounds almost too simple. It works anyway. As I mentioned a minute ago, I've got a free resource for you that goes deeper into all of this. It's called 25 Plus Ways to Grow Your Newsletter Subscriber List, and it's a cheat sheet I created specifically for you. To get your free copy, subscribe to my Substack. You'll find the link in the description below. When you subscribe, you'll get the cheat sheet, and you'll also get my new newsletter, because all this talk about newsletters reminded me that, yeah, I probably should start a new one for this YouTube channel too, so I did. Okay, coach, I want to leave you with something I know from experience, and that I think is especially true for coaches who are starting over 50. You have something that no algorithm can replicate and no younger coach can fake. You have years of real experience, real perspective, real stories. When you put that into a newsletter, consistently, honestly, generously, people feel it, they trust it, they stay. You don't need a massive list to build a successful coaching practice. You need the right people on your list, and you need to show up for them reliably. That's it. That tea room owner didn't have a big list. She had a basic email, a simple offer, and one Friday afternoon, and it changed everything for her. It made a believer out of her, and she launched a newsletter after that. She wasn't a techie gal, but she did it. You can do this too. You already have everything you need to start. Hey, if this video was helpful, please share it with a coach friend who's figuring out their marketing. This might be exactly what they need to hear. And if you're not already subscribed to this channel, now's a great time. I publish practical, proven strategies for new coaches every week, and I'd love to see you here. Thanks for watching, Coach. This is Smart Ideas for New Coaches, and I'm Ronnie Noyes, reminding you that today is a great day to be a coach.